Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mostly Sci-Fi. Well, mostly. This is episode 6. So we got some things to talk about today. I also did another video before this, and it didn't come out. Like mental lapses and stuff. So I'm gonna have to do that again, but I will do that again. So this weekend you're probably gonna have like 3 or 4 videos because I have to finish Bud Hopkins chapter, I think 4 or 5, one of those chapters. And so that's going to come out in probably before Monday. Sorry I haven't been on here for like 5 days. It's just my job. I got 2 jobs. They're both keeping me busy. So it's kind of hard to you know, do that and then have 2 jobs. And being in America, you gotta have 2 jobs. Ain't no joke, cause YouTube ain't making me no money. So, but please support the channel if you can. Please support the channel, and I don't mean by donations. I just mean by just watching the content and liking and subscribing to the content. So, what I want to talk about before I even get to my main subject, okay, is the video that I just put out. It took me like a week to make. And I'm telling you that this series is going to be the magnum opus of this channel. This series is going to be the magnum opus. Okay, and that is Alien Revival Part 3. You got to enjoy it before they take it down, because at some point they're going to take it down. Okay? Either they're going to take it down or they're going to hire me. That's what's going to happen. So I noticed like people look at my podcast, but they don't look at this, right? And I just want to show you some parts of it. I'll show you like a minute, and then you could just see that the quality is all there. Okay, so I'll just go to some random part, right? Maybe some part like this. Okay, so this is part like 3, which is kind of like part 4, because you have the prologue. Okay, so the prologue was 3 minutes. Part 1 was like almost 13 minutes. Part 2 is almost 13 minutes. And part 3 is almost 13 minutes. So altogether, you got like 40-something minutes. All right, so if you went through it and just checked it out, it's like almost like a small feature-length film right now. And I still got like 4... I think I got 4 or 5 episodes to go, and I'm going to complete the episodes. I don't care how long it's going to take me. I think that this series is really good. So let's just look at like a minute and a half, and then I'll get to the content. So let's check it out. We'll check out this part, all done by me. Thank you.
Everything you've sacrificed. Seeing your nightmares come true.
Ambrose, what are your...
I know it's insensitive of me to ask, Jade. But while you can still speak, I was hoping you might tell me something.
Get off!
I know you lie awake at night, terrified of the disease that's killing you.
No!
Maybe you've even visualized it. Put a face to it. I'm sure you've imagined what it will be like when you've lost the ability to move. Knowing that soon the thing that killed you will be all that's left of you. What it will be like to scream and scream and scream, knowing you're the only one who will hear it. What I want to know, Jane, is this. Is it like you imagined?
Okay, so I gave you like a minute of it. It's good. This is part 3. Like I told you, there's like 4 parts to it. So there's 4 parts to this prologue: part 1, part 2, part 3. I'm gonna do part 4, but that's probably not coming out to 2 weeks because it just takes a lot of work to do these kind of things. So these things are 13 minutes, pretty much 13 minutes each. So at some point they're probably gonna take it down. Okay, so I implore you to enjoy it while it lasts because for this channel, mostly Sci-Fi 2, this is the magnum opus. I'm telling you that this is the magnum opus. If you like Alien, if you like Alien vs. Predator, this is the magnum opus. Okay? So check it out. I mean, I'm not getting anything really from it. I put a few ads on there, but I'm not making any. Pretty much, I'm not making any. I'm making like a pennies. Okay, I do it because I'm a fan and I enjoy it, and I hope that you guys just just look at it and appreciate the artistry of it. Okay, but it's gonna get taken down because it's like super copyright. You know what I'm saying? At some point within like I don't know within a year or so. But yeah, so check that out. But today I really want to talk about my disappointment that Warner Brothers basically they okey doked Henry Cavill. And I think they did this on purpose because there is an agenda in this country, in the United States of America, basically to make the white man like at least in entertainment or when you're looking at him on TV to make him extinct. Now in real life, when you look at it in real life, that's a different story. That's why they call it virtual signaling because the heads of all the companies are still white men, like white, whatever they call it, cis men. I was watching like something like Ben Shapiro like last week, and he was showing like all the journalists that were talking about like this kind of equity and shit, right? With who's this lady? Nancy Pelosi. So she was spouting all this stuff about equity and all this other junk, and all the ass licking freaking journalists, right? They decided to take a picture with her. And then what you saw was like all the journalists, basically, most of them were white females. All of them. It was like 100%. And so they were talking about like equity and all this other kind of stuff. But where's the equity when you see the journalists? Because you never really see that. You only see it when, like, that crazy woman on MSNBC, like, Joyless Reed or whatever. But you never see it, like, in the White House. Like, if you look at the White House, the press secretary, when it zeroes in on the people, you don't see no... You see that one, like, African guy, and he's talking, right? They scared of that, I think. That all black people don't think like this, right? And so they have to all get these kinds of people to do their kind of work for them or whatever. But anyway, so you got this kind of virtual signaling stuff, like the crowd, and what I was saying is that when you go to the movies, that's what it looked like, but in real life, that's not what it looks like. In real life, like black folks is killing black folks, and we dying by the thousands a year. Like you go to freaking Chicago, and we're dying by the thousands, and they're not saying anything. They're not trying to fix it. It's just there, and people like me know it, and we try to talk about it, but our voices are just we don't have any voices because you have something that you call shadow banning. And so when you're black and you talk about these things, they will cut your vocal cords out your throat. And so when you talk about this, you will have no audience. No one will listen. Okay. And so the people that have the voices are the virtual signaling people that they will parrot what the preferred party says. And I call the preferred party if you know what I'm talking about. So let's actually talk about Henry Cavill. So Henry Cavill quit The Witcher confidently. And this kind of sucked, man. Like, because he quit The Witcher confidently because he thought he was going to do Superman because Warner Brothers told him, look, you're going to do Superman. You can't do it's conflicting time schedules, right? And so I, in my mind, I'm thinking Henry Cavill was feeling like he was feeling like, I'm feeling good. Like, I don't need to do The Witcher. I'm gonna do Superman. And so, The Witcher was this super feminist woman, and they're not going by the lore. The Witcher season 2 was kind of hot garbage, should I say? And The Witcher season 1 was pretty good. It was decent. And so I was waiting for Witcher 2. We waited for like 2.5 years, and then it was like hot garbage. Like, where's Yennefer? What's going on? I didn't read the novels, but I will. But I didn't read the novels. But it was this hot garbage. Like, the second season was hot. I didn't need anybody to tell me that. Like, that the second season, was hot garbage. Okay, it was nowhere near the first season. First season was kind of confusing at first when I first watched it. But when I watched the second and third time, it was a masterpiece. It was really good. To me, it was good. Second season was hot garbage. Third season, I don't know what happened. I guess he's going to come back. And I guess they came with disagreements. And I guess if there was a fourth season, I don't know if the third season is going to be with him in it. But he quit it. And now they got like Chris Hemsworth in it. And I don't think it's going to be the same because I listened to the first book, like half of it. He's Geralt, man. He's Geralt. Like, that's him. It's him. Like, you can't change it. Like, even with Chris Hemsworth is good. He was good in Thor or whatever. You can't compare. Once you have an actor, you stay with him, right? And Chris Hemsworth is good. He's a good actor. If you ever seen him in, they got this story about Moby Dick. I don't know the name of it, the real name of it, but it was about Moby Dick, the whale. But he did a very good job. He's a good actor. Okay, don't see him as Thor. Okay, you got to see him in other things. He's a really good actor. He was a very good actor in Moby Dick. Okay, but whatever he does, you cannot. Henry Cavill's The Witcher. That's it. And when Chris Hemsworth does it, I'll watch it, but it ain't going to be with very much enthusiasm. Okay? Because my mind is set on Henry Cavill. That's it. And so they want to take the white man out of everything. Right? And so he quit, and then he was like, oh, la-di-da-di-da, I'm going to go play Superman. I'm back to Superman. That's what he wanted to do. Of course, he likes the role, and he gets paid oodles and oodles of money. But what happened? We're going to read what happened, because this one's not telling us, but we're going to read what happened. Henry Cavill sacked as Superman by new DC Studios chiefs just weeks after being told to announce his return. The British actor said the news wasn't the easiest to deal with. So he quit a role to be in this role because they told him to, and then they crapped on his head. Okay? Which is it's just horrible. But he's going to do some other thing. Like, he's going to be in something else. Let me see. I think he's playing in something else. Yeah, Warhammer. The problem is that not a lot of people know the characters of Warhammer. But he's gonna be like, I guess, some hero on Warhammer. He's always gonna have work. It's just that I'm sure he wanted. At this point, it's not about the money. It's about him doing a passionate role, right? He's very disappointed, I'm pretty sure. So, British actor Henry Cavill has been dropped from the role of Superman after new executives in charge of DC Studios decided they didn't want to cast him as the iconic superhero in their next movie. Like, he's Superman. What are you talking about? Even this, look, if you just look at him, uh, if I can find him, oh my God. If you just look at him, the broad shoulders, that's Superman. When we used to watch the animated series, Batman, Superman, that's him, right? How can you change it, right? They must don't like money. Like, these studios don't like money, and I think they're just trying to push a message. They don't care about money at this point. So, British actor Henry Cavill has been dropped from the role of Superman after new executives in charge of DC Studios decided they didn't want to cast him as the iconic superhero in their next movie. Cavill, who has played Superman since 2013's Man of Steel, took to Instagram on Wednesday to share the sad news that he would not be returning to the iconic role. You know what he said? Cavill told fans in October that he would return to the role of Clark Kent, also known as Superman in DC Comics' extended cinematic universe. The announcement came shortly after he resigned as the lead in Netflix fantasy series The Witcher, and he did that because they told him to, because Warner Brothers told him to. Okay, sharing an image of himself in costume, Cavill promised at the time that it was just a very small taste of what's to come. Right? So there was like some kind of picture. I can't show you the picture because Fortune blocks it on the desktop, but they don't block it on the phone. Okay? So he was happy about it. He got 3.7 million likes. So you understand how many people want him to be Superman. Okay? How many people want him to be that? If you sample the likes. He reportedly earned 11 million pounds, which is like 20-something $million. Oh, it's not as much before because the U.S. dollar's getting stronger. 13.5 million for his part in Man of Steel, and has played Superman in 3 more DC movies since its release. Cavill's confirmation that he would play Superman again came shortly after the theatrical release of DC's Black Adam, in which he made an appearance as a character in a mid-credit scene. Why is Cavill being replaced? I'm going to tell you why he's being replaced, but we're going to read this one. Filmmaker Gunn and producer Safran were hired to lead DC's film, TV, and animation division in October, just days after Cavill announced he would return as Superman and step down as The Witcher protagonist Geralt of Rivia. It was announced that they would take on the roles of co-chairs and co-CEOs of DC Studios, a newly formed arm of Warner Brothers set up to replace DC Films. Despite admitting his disappointment about being dropped from the role, Cavill wished Gunn and Safran the best of luck and the happiest of fortune on Wednesday. Okay, the changing of the guards, blah, blah, blah. Separately, Gunn, who is writing a screenplay for a new installment in DC's cinematic universe, confirmed in a tweet on Wednesday evening that he and Safran had decided against asking Cavill to star as Superman in their upcoming movie, which is still being developed. In the initial stages, our story will be focused on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill, Gunn said, adding that the film will not be Superman origin story. And I don't understand why, if you're going to do Superman earlier part of his life, you can still put Cavill in the role, right? But we just had a great meeting with Henry. We're big fans, and we talked about a number of exciting possibilities to work together in the future, he added. Okay, so James Gunn, like, it's hard. James Gunn has like a weird past. Like, he had all these really weird sexual jokes, like pedophilic jokes back in the days. He was forgiven. He wasn't canceled. He is a great filmmaker. Okay, for at least for superhero films, he's great. Um, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was good. Guardian Galaxy 2 was good. Um, Suicide Squad was good. And the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special, Christmas special was excellent. I think that was done by James Gunn. He's really busy. Okay, I'm not sure if he did that one, but I'm probably sure he did it. So I don't know. I think that somebody cautioned against having Cavill as Superman. And they're saying that he's difficult because he wants to stick to skip to the comics, right? Like when he was in Gerard of Rivia, he wants to stick to the lore, the books, and these people don't respect lore and books. Now, I can't say that for James Gunn. James Gunn's not sticking to the books. You could just make anything up with Guardians of the Galaxy because most people don't know what happened in their comic books, right? Most people don't care. But with staples like Batman and Superman, you have to keep to the script. With what do you call this? Oh my God. With The Witcher, you have to keep to the script. You don't keep the script, people not interested. Now, I told you I've only listened to half of The Witcher, and it's great. Okay? But I think that James Gunn wants to stay on the good side. And it's really messed up what they did. They kind of tricked him into coming, and then he quits Witcher, and then he said, oh yeah, we're not going to give you that too. And to me, that sounds like the crappy sense of humor of James Gunn. Flexing his muscle. Because if you know his past, you wouldn't be surprised at this move. Okay, what he did to Henry Cavill. It's just like it seemed like it was planned. Because if you are the co-CEO of DC whatever, right? They're giving you this big power. You know what you want, right? So you would know what you want before you tell somebody to come over. A big giant star like Henry Cavill, you would be like, yo, I already know what I want. We have the skeleton of the screenplay, and Henry Cavill, we want you. So at some point, they was like, yo, we want you, Henry Cavill. And then you telling me, oh, no, we don't want you now. It is a twisted sense of humor of James Gunn. And what's might going to happen with me is that I'm probably going to boycott the movie. I'm not watching that movie. If it ain't Henry Cavill, I don't want to see no Superman. Just because of what he did. And he's an excellent filmmaker. Okay? I loved Suicide Squad. I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. This is one of my best superhero films of all time. Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad. Besides Blade, because Blade is number one. But other than Blade, distant second and third, Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad. Really good. Humor is great. Everything. Batista is excellent. But I think that this dude was flexing his muscle. And he was playing with him. And he has this kind of sense of humor that is kind of a bit toxic. And back in the days, it's toxic. But now it's okay. This kind of pedophilic type of sense of humor. If you see his past tweets, you wouldn't understand what I'm talking about with James Gunn. Okay? For some reason, I think it's for money, he got a pass. I think it's for money and virtual signaling. So, because the things that he does, it's easy for him. it's not a hard thing for him. He can virtue signal without having to show you that he's virtue signaling. And what I mean by that, if you do a project that is Suicide Squad, um, if you do a a movie like Suicide Squad, it's not really called virtue signaling, but it appeases the audience because it's women. It's basically, what's her name? I even forgot her name. Joker's Harley Quinn is basically a super feminist, right? That's what all the feminists want to be like. Is like her, right? Just unpredictable, crazy. She ain't got no children, causing havoc and mayhem, and never has to pay for what she's done. She don't really have to pay, right? There's never really any consequences for her actions, right? And so that was what this TV show, this movie was about, like the Suicide Squad. She never really paid for anything. Look at all the death and mayhem that she caused with the Joker. She doesn't pay for anything. They make her like a heroine, right? She's a villain, man. And so you kind of virtue signaling it, but not because it's Harley Quinn, right? And then when you go to like Guardians of the Galaxy, it's personification. And so personification is when animals or inanimate objects or animals or whatever take the they take the characteristics of humans, of people. Okay, so you're dealing with inanimate objects. You could change them and interchange them however you want. Right? You got Rocket Raccoon. He's not a human. Right? He's not a girl, boy, or whatever. It's just an animal. Right? You got a Mantis. He's an alien, right? You got Gamora. That's a girl. She's like really strong. The only guy is like, what's his name? Chris Pratt. And Chris Pratt is just, if you really look at Chris Pratt, like, I even forgot like his comic name. But if you look at Chris Pratt, he's a comic relief. Gamora's pretty much a real leader. Okay? Chris Pratt and Bautista is kind of like, they're not very serious characters. They're the comic relief. So he's a shoo-in for it. Because he didn't do any serious male characters. Not like Nolan did with Batman. That's a very serious male character. You're not going to have Batman for a very long time. Look what they did with Batman. What's this one? The new Batman. It's called The Batman. He was so female. He was so feminine. He was like an emo. When my daughter saw him, she was like, oh, emo Batman. Like within like 5 seconds. Oh, emo Batman. Not Christopher Bale, manly Batman. Or Michael Keaton, Batman. Oh. I even forgot the dude's name. He was a good actor. But I'm just saying. It was like, when I saw it, it was like emo Batman. It's emo Batman. Oh my gosh. Right? What I wanted a Batman Beyond. Yeah, give me Batman Beyond. Right? No, we get emo Batman. They give it an 8. I give it oh my gosh, the action sucked. It was just it was boring. Very boring movie. I give it like a 6. Okay? And he was emo Batman. He wasn't real Batman. Okay? He wasn't Ben Affleck Batman. And they don't want to do that no more. What they want is like these female transgender kind of, that's what they want. They want these kind of roles. You can see it in Black Panther, right? So now that Boseman is died, may he rest in peace. Now they make Black Panther female. That wasn't in the comics. Black Panther's now female. Now she can take down 300-pound people. When she was a genius, I liked her when she was a genius. Now you're like a super female athlete that can take down 300-pound men. Machines and all this other stuff. They doing the same thing. Ironheart with Iron Man. They deleting everybody. And so I don't even watch it no more. I don't watch none of it. I haven't watched anything. Like She-Hulk, I haven't watched. I stopped watching since Scarlet Witch. When Scarlet Witch didn't pay for any of her freaking mistakes that she did. She, killing people and all that other stuff. She doesn't have to like pay for anything she does. Like she's flawless. And I'm like, where are her mistakes? And so she died. I mean, she was killing people. Sorry. And why did I say she died? She was killing people. And there was no consequences for her. And after that, so I didn't watch that. Then I watched half of Loki. So I watched half of Loki. And then when they turned Loki into a female and they started kicking him in the balls, I was like, all right, no more. Because I remember Loki as this sinister dude. Okay, that the Avengers, giving the Avengers the run for their money. Now he's a little poontang and they kick him in the balls. Women kicking him in the balls that don't even have any powers. And I was just like, all right, this is done. I'm done. So these people want to turn Marvel into She-Marvel or She whatever you call it. I'm not watching none of that. And I think a lot of people are not watching none of that. Lord of the Rings, I haven't seen any episodes. Okay? Do you know what mostly sci-fi is watching? I'm watching Yellowstone. See, that's good TV. Okay? I'm watching Yellowstone. I'm watching what do you call that with the that video game, League of Legends? There was like some kind of anime for that. I forgot the name of it. I watched that. That is good. Okay? So I'm watching things that, because wherever you go, they're trying to throw it in your face. You can't go anywhere now where they not throwing this stuff in your face that it's bad to be white, it's bad to be a man. But it's only on TV, though. In real life, they ain't doing nothing. Okay? I'm telling you, black folks around where I'm at, they're in as bad shape as they ever was. Okay? We are in as bad shape as we ever was. But to virtue signal in Hollywood, that's what it is. You go to every commercial, got a black family and all this other kind of stuff. But if you look at the real life of black people, and when I say we as bad as we ever was, this all you got to do is go to Chicago. If you really want to start this thing, if you really want to do something about, I guess, the black plight or what they call equity, you must start at Chicago. You start there by lowering the murder rate in Chicago and in Washington, D.C., and in Seattle. But mostly Chicago. Go there, lower the murder rate. But they won't do that. It's nothing about that. They won't fix this type of thing. See, what they will do is just virtual signaling in Hollywood, and then they'll give themselves awards. And people like me, we already know. But we try to talk, but we don't got a voice. I don't got a voice. Nobody listens to The Flag. I'm telling you, nobody listens to me. Nobody listens to me. And then when I speak, I'm silenced. Okay? When I speak, I get fired from my job. When I speak, they run you off your channel. When you kind of tell the truth, that's what happens to you. They call you Uncle Tom because I want Henry Cavill to be Superman, and I don't want that dude that played the bad guy in Black Panther, even though I think he's great. I saw him in Creed. He was excellent. Okay? But I don't want you to be Val, whatever, Superman. Like, Superman is not black. He's white. That's just the gist of it. That's what it is. If you want a superhero and you want him to be black, you pick a black superhero. You don't turn a white superhero into black. Or what they do is they turn villains into heroes. And they try to make you to sympathize with them. And they don't do it right because they can kill a lot of people and then there's no consequences. You know? And so, yeah, I don't watch any of that stuff. I guess the last decent movie was maybe like The Joker. Like, Joker was good. The first time I didn't get it, but the second time was like I saw the genius in it, you know. But why was that allowed to prosper? And I think it's because here you have a white man, you paint a clown face on him, and he's evil. Right, so it's easy to do that. It's like, oh, we're gonna make the white guy evil. You know, it's very easy. There's no consequences from that. It's easy to direct that. The white men are clowns. We're gonna paint his face, right? See, it's different than Heath Ledger's one in 2008. It's very different. Is it Heath Ledger 2008 or 2010 or whatever? But it's different from Heath Ledger's Joker. Because Heath Ledger's Joker wasn't being clowned and put down and shitted on. So when you saw Heath Ledger's Joker, you ain't see his mother, like him living with his mother and doing all that. Like, the new Joker now that they got, that's why it made it out. Because here's a white guy, he got to put on clown makeup. And he's living with his mother. When did the Joker live with his mother? He never lived with his mother. He was thrown in a vat of acid. And that's how he became the Joker. If you go back in the days to like Batman, like, see, with the Joker, I don't know if you can get this book. This is very good. I got this from my local library. But the story of the Joker, he didn't turn into the Joker. In the first part, like, there was just a random guy that fell into a vat of acid. Right? And then they developed the Joker from Batman's origins. Like, if you check this book out, you would know, like, all the story of Batman. But when I saw Heath Ledger's, if you see Heath Ledger's Joker, you never see him out of his makeup. So you do not equate him with a white person. You just say, like, it's the Joker. He's like, he's basically another form of personification, right? You never really see Joker. You never think of him as a white man before 2008. You never really think of him. You just think of him as, like, he's a Joker. You don't think of him as that. Okay? Well, you might do it like back in the days where you did with Jack Nicholson, but those are different times, okay? Nowadays, they're more sinister. So now you have Joaquin Phoenix, who you have this loser white guy who lives with his mother, right? So he lives with his mother, and it's kind of like a white supremacist message because, you know, it's the 1980s, 1970s, you know, he's inside the train station. I'm thinking it's the Bronx in New York. I forgot if it's black or white people that are harassing him, but it's like the rise of white supremacy. Okay? That's what they want you to think. So it's the rise of white supremacy because he's getting picked on. He's getting picked on by these people in society, and they stealing things from him, and they doing so much bad things to him, and then he turns into the Joker, and then he starts killing a whole bunch of people. And it takes white liberal Batman to stop him. Right? Because in these days, if you see this whole movie, like The Last Joker, what you saw, you didn't see a lot of black folks in there. You saw the black social worker and all that other stuff, but Bronx is full of black people. And the shots that they had in there was the Bronx, because I'm from the Bronx, and I know almost exactly where he was. Okay? So that's the Bronx, but you ain't see a lot of black people in there. But you saw this white man slowly turning into, and I think it was a symbolism for like Dylan Roof. You know what I mean? Like, I'm Dylan Roof now. Now I'm gonna kill all you, everybody. I'm gonna start killing black people and all that stuff, right? And so this is what I think that the new message is. You got Ironheart is a black girl. You got Miles Morales. I mean, I thought the cartoon was great, but I'm just like, yo, he's not Spider-Man. I don't mind him, but don't call him Spider-Man. Okay? I even bought the game, the PS4 game, like Miles Morales, because I got the first one, but I never play it. I just bought it just to buy it. You know what I mean? Like, shut up and buy, consume. But I never play it because I don't have a connection with that character. I'm not connected to him. Like, he ain't Spider-Man. Although I want to play it, I like the cartoon. The cartoon is one of the best cartoons ever made. That Spider-Man cartoon with Miles Morales, that's one of the best cartoons ever made, hands down. Okay? But again, he's not Spider-Man. And they're trying to replace him. And I think they're trying to replace a lot of the male machismo white characters with these amalgamations of whatever you want to call it. So, like, I don't know. In closing, this is original black character. This is Eric July's I Saw Him #1. I don't know. He needs to be coming out with faster stuff because he's making too many videos of, like, against the establishment. I understand that, but he got to be making more of these books. Like, one got to come out every month or something, because I think he want to start his own comic book company. He's been doing it, but I think it's coming out too slow. So because this was like 4 months ago that this came out, 4 or 5 months ago, and #2 is not out yet. So in my opinion, I think he should have had like already 3. And then wait like 3 months and then come out with another one or whatever. But he came out with this one, and then it made like $3 million. And then there's nothing after. But I'm going to support him however he does his stuff. So I'm going to support him because this is an original black character. I'm probably going to buy another book, another comic, because I don't want to open this because I think it might be worth something in the future. So I won't open this one. So it's like everything is new. I used to be a comic book collector, and when I went to China, all my comics I left it with one of my great friends, and then he let it sit in his basement, and then his basement got flooded, and it destroyed all my comics that it took years and years to collect. But I'm going to start it again, and this is going to be the first one that I come with as an investment. So I think this is going to be worth something. It is a product of our time. I saw him. I'm not going to read this one. I'm probably going to order another one. I got 2 of his t-shirts and stuff like that, which are pretty good quality. And, yeah. So you got people like us that is not trying to hear none of this nonsense. Like, we know what's going on. We're not stupid. The problem is it's a lot of gaslighting going on, and then you got white folks that take the bait, and then they start just hating on black folks. They just, and I'm just like, yo, man, we all on the same side right here. Don't let yourself get gaslighted by this stuff. Just do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, you have people that are going to speak out on this kind of stuff that is happening now. We see it. We're not stupid. Don't underestimate our intelligence. Okay? Just don't do it. Because that's what they want you to do. And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to be fighting each other. Because that's what they want. They want to change the ideology of the country. And people like me, I'm not going to let them. I remember what America used to be like. I will never forget it. You can't change me, I know what it was. And so when you come out with a movie without Henry Cavill, and then you try to come out with some crap stuff, I'm not going to watch it. You caught me with the Joker. Okay, you guys could say, oh, the Joker's awesome. Well, I know what it was. You know what I mean? I know what it was. I know what it is. It's a gaslight. Okay? And that's what it was. So this is mostly sci-fi. Listen to my songs. I always put one of these kind of little rap songs at the end because I like doing it. But yeah, check it out. I'm out mostly sci-fi. Well, mostly.
How you want it? Ocean urn or coffin. The harpoon will leave a hole in your head like a dolphin. Niggas gon' get this work. A bigger dick, I'm Ishmael. Better yet, Queequeg, you Ahab. Cut off at the knees, they each peg. The spill make a bleed, ovaries never reach egg. Walk the plank when you fuck with flag. Fuck a Billie Eilish, I'm a pirate ass. If she got big tits, that's where I'ma hide the stash. Boy, couldn't find Nemo when she tried the last toy. Elbow deep, slicked up with castor oil. Glad you're freaking such a bad boy. I'm with you for your freaking the passport. You dumb slag, America ain't shit, so hats off. Break a leg, break a break a bunch. What you want, you dumb cunt? How you want it? Ocean urn or coffin. The harpoon will leave a hole in your head like a dolphin.